Welcome back to Inside the Game, brought to you by All Volleyball, who is on a mission to make shopping for players, teams, and clubs easy and affordable. I'm back with TJ DeFalco. So I guess let's just hop right into it, TJ. So you're back in California from Japan. How was the tournament? Because I know last time we chatted, you were about to start the playoffs. So how did that all go?
Yeah, the season ended on a pretty good note. We made it all the way to the final of SV League and played against Suntory and against a very good team, but ended up getting into that match and losing that match. So we lost the final and got second place for the league. Pretty good season compared to where the last time that I had this conversation with you. It was very up and down for my team, but we we plateaued at the right time and got to the final.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, so now that you're back in California, what's kind of next for you as far as you're doing any like training, any sort of that kind of stuff?
This summer, I decided that I wanted to have a summer to live. So I took the summer off from the national team for the entire thing. And I've just been living, I get to live TJ's life now in the summer of having some free time. So that whether that's go and hang out with family and be with my nieces and nephews that I haven't seen in a very long time, or golf as much as I can, or go down and see my girlfriend's family and be with them in California. There's a lot of different things that and opens up my whole schedule to do. And so I plan on doing at least one of everything.
That's good. I feel like people forget like volleyball players are also like people. They have other things they like to do outside of playing volleyball. I've tried golfing, but that is not something I could pick up.
Golf is very difficult, very annoying as well.
Well, I guess I feel like there's been quite a bit in like the men's volleyball world lately. So obviously, Long Beach State won the national championship. As an alum, how did that feel to see them win?
Oh, I felt good. It had been 6 years since that trophy returned to Long Beach. And yeah, and I remember that feeling well, and I couldn't be more happy for those guys that won it and the staff as well, because the staff is all pretty much the same people that were there when I was there, and it warmed my heart a little bit. And then it warmed it even more that it was against one of our rival schools or whatever, in UCLA. So it felt good, and I'm really proud and happy for the boys that got that back.
Yeah, I remember the team's run when you were there. And then like not seeing them win, I was like, dang, like Long Beach State's gonna come back. Like I know they are. Like obviously like they're always like in the running every single year, but finally seeing them win and the match point literally on an overpass, it was just like the most clutch thing to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we can move on to, well, kind of in men's volleyball, but let's just get to it. In one word, how would you describe when you found out about GCU cutting their men's program?
Shock. And then if I were to pick another word, I would say not to the extent of heartbroken, but like saddened for sure. Because that's just a very unfortunate thing that happened to a group of guys that showed a lot of potential, and their fan base has always been really good at showing up and showing out at GCU, from what I know and what I've watched over the years. And to have that those guys and that team go through such a devastating thing as just the lack of leadership from the school and all that kind of stuff, it was just sad. It just hurt a little bit, because that sucks for anybody to go through. And then it was really tough.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where it's like, because I've been following the Save GCU men's volleyball page and like they're trying to do so much. And it's like one of those things where it's like, you're heartbroken and like it's just I mean, I was completely shocked as well. But then it's like you're going through like the heartbreak of like never playing at GCU again, but then you also got to think about, well, I got to play volleyball somewhere. So just going through that whole process of going into the transfer portal when you really didn't want to, like you don't have a choice, is just something that's so mind baffling to me. On the bright side, I have heard of other like smaller colleges starting to add men's volleyball, but it still is, it's like you don't like to see men's volleyball programs being cut because that's just not good for the sport as a whole.
Yeah,
So
definitely, especially since we're trying to be on this role as a sport, as a community of growing the game of men's volleyball, because as Alan's famous words said, you know men's volleyball is the hidden gem of the sports world.
Mhm.
And if nobody really knows about it and you're continuing to drop it from the schools, how are we going to continue to push the exposure that men's volleyball gets? And it's just frustrating, coming from someone who's played in the sport for a very long time to feel like there's something that's working against getting men's volleyball out there and exposed. So it's just confusing a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll have to see, like, what comes of it, if it's just gonna be, like, an isolated incident, like I guess to me, I feel like it's gonna be, like, a one, like, school type of thing, like, we hope that that's not a pattern, like, in the future, like, and that for every men's program cut, there's, like, 5 that are added, you know?
Yeah,
But
I'm just hoping it's a situation that turns out like how Stanford did a few
that
years ago.
yes, yes, because I know that happened that was around COVID, right?
Yeah,
When that
shortly
happened?
after.
Yeah. But again, it's like one of those things where it's like, you wanna save it, and, like, there could be a chance that you save it, but then it's like, you also need to find a place to play too, so it's definitely like a double-edged sword, unfortunately. Alrighty, I guess to end things, we're gonna have a this is kind of on the topic of men's volleyball, women's volleyball. So it's
Okay.
so it's called Make Your Case. So we're gonna give each other 10 seconds, and I'm gonna make the case for men's volleyball, and you're gonna make the case for women's volleyball about like the gameplay, like what you like better, making the case as to why one is like more fun to watch.
Okay, so I'm going against you for you have men's volleyball.
Yes, I have men's, you have women's. We're turning the we're turning the table. Three, two, one. Okay, men's volleyball, obviously faster, obviously more powerful. The serves are awesome. It's way more dynamic. It's very unpredictable. Oh my gosh, that was so quick.
Hey, 10 seconds is fast.
That is really fast. I'll give you a little extra time. I was gonna say, okay, last couple of things. I do really think like the actual plays themselves are way more creative than the women's game, and that's something that I think the women's game can take from the men's.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe 15 seconds is what I needed. Alrighty, I'll set a 15-second timer for you.
Okay.
All right, one, two, three.
I think women's volleyball is one of the most spectacular things because that this sport alone has the longest rallies, and that by itself is like the breathtaking aspect of women's volleyball. Like the one to have the volleyball skill and the ability to keep them that long, but then also the endurance to be able to do that makes.
Dang, you did it right in 15 seconds. That's all that I have for this segment, but thank you guys so much for tuning in, and let me know what all like you would want me to ask TJ in the future. Big thanks to All Volleyball. They do such great for the volleyball community as far as apparel and merchandise and gear goes. So again, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.